What if you could have a trained digital assistant that never forgets your processes, never takes a sick day, and handles the stuff you hate doing? Well, that's what custom GPTs are built for. And today I'm going to show you how to make one for your business, even if you're not technical. Now, if you've heard the term GPT, but you aren't sure what it means, well, it's just a customizable AI assistant trained on your specific needs, and you can create one in under 15 minutes. Let's go. So this was one of those videos where I had this idea. I was actually in the middle of doing something, and I decided this would be great to share with you guys, because I'm sure if I needed to use this, you would too. So what I did today was create a GPT specifically for my business. As a service-based business owner, or any business, but especially if you're a service-based business owner, there's so many things that you could use a custom GPT for. And so I'm going to share with a few of those today. And so some of those things that you could easily see yourself using a custom GPT for, like a proposal SOW builder, and totally makes the most sense, right? How about a client communication assistant, one that is actually dealing with all those emails, onboarding messages, all that stuff? Or a meeting summarizer and action taker, where you're actually looking at those notes that you're getting from your Zoom or your Fathom calls and have them be reviewed, summarized, open items, anything like that. Absolutely, definitely a huge time saver there. And a content brainstorm engine. I know that we've all done this, where we're needing to generate ideas for LinkedIn thought leadership or newsletters or YouTube scripts, anything like that. This is also a need to have a custom GPT. How about a discovery call companion? I've done this too, where I prepare a tailored question set note-taking template for a client discovery call, and gear it towards that specific industry type so that you can inform the GPT. Specifically, you are expert in whatever that field is. Let's say it is engineering, and just tell it that you're the expert in this field. An AI powered reporting assistant, taking anything from Google Analytics, your HubSpot, or any of your tools, and getting a real good, clean report. What I've even done was I'll create a GPT specifically to help with the executive summaries for my clients. I do a screenshot of something, a report I found in Google Analytics, or Looker Studio. I pop those in and say, based on what you're seeing here, provide an executive summary. So short bullets, and making sure that that is concise and readable and legible to your client. Of course, you should always review these things just to make sure that of the accuracy, but you can absolutely create these for that. Another one, time management and a prioritization coach. So based on any to-do list, prioritizing what you need to have done. I've even done it where I've helped organize my week based on client work or other work, marketing work for the business, anything like that. You can absolutely create a GPT to help organize your business. And another one, agency sales script and objection handler. This is really, really good, especially when it comes to working specifically with within an industry, or if you're dealing in a sales call and you want to have a more customizable sales and objection script handled, so that it will definitely need to be tweaked based on your responses. And I would also make sure that you're feeding it any of your Fathom or Zoom or any of your transcripts, so that it can get smarter and learn better about the types of objections that you're getting in any of your sales calls. Okay, now I'm going to show you how easy it is to really create this thing. So first, you might be wondering, do I actually need a paid account for this? And so the next question you might be asking is, do I need a Plus account or a paid account to create GPTs? Well, I actually asked, and yes, to create a custom GPT using OpenAI's GPT Builder, You do need a paid ChatGPT subscription. I have the Plus version, but there's also Team and Enterprise plans. The Plus is $20 a month. And let me tell you, this is probably the best $20 a month I have ever spent. So if you are on the free tier, you can look at other GPTs created, so you can see the Explore GPTs, and you can use others for that, where you can basically look and see like what other people have created. And so here's productivity, and you can kind of see what the productivity one is. There are, and I'm noticing more and more of these being created. These are out and they're shareable. If you create your own GPT, you can keep it only exclusively private to your business. You can also enter it into the store and share it with everybody else that might need to leverage the GPT that you created. Just about every single category: programming, lifestyle, education, writing, productivity. They even have a top picks here on what's trending, kind of like the Apple Store in a way, where you can kind of see what's trending or what's really more useful. I tend to like the productivity ones or the research and analysis. If you do decide you want to use it, you can just add it to the side here, like I've done here. Now I'm going to get into creating your own GPT. And it is super simple to do this thing. Okay. So you can see where I am here, my GPTs, and I can create. So my GPTs, I go here. The one I did create is called the Schema Strategist. There is certain work in my consulting practice that I do not want to do. And some of it is technical SEO stuff. While I understand it and I've done it for more than couple of decades, I decided this would be a great thing to establish or create a GPT for. So this is basically, and I even, it gives you a little face like an icon or an avatar. It asked me to name it. It is a technical SEO expert for schema markup, audits, and recommendations. So what I'll do is I'll say, I want you to take a look at this URL, and this might be one in my client's. Obviously, it's likely going to be one in my client's website. Now, I've already given it directions, and I'm going to go through and show you exactly when we're actually creating this, what that looks like. So it's immediately going to now search the web. It's looking at that specific URL. This makes my life a lot easier because now I've already told it and programmed it before as to what it should include, and it's already done that. Here is the actual JSON LD snippet that I just would copy and paste. And so this is brilliant because I have worked with many development teams that prefer to have a variety of different options. Maybe this option number one doesn't really work well for them. Maybe they want to use a couple of different options. So it gives them a couple of different options. And the amount of time and hours it would save me or somebody on my team is just unbelievable. So another really good reason to using it for these things that don't take specific strategy. This is not strategic. It's knowing and understanding as a service-based business owner what you need or what your clients' needs are. And then it allows me the time and the space to be more strategic for my clients. After all, they're paying for my years of experience and strategy and insight. They're not paying for this tactical stuff that I could easily outsource. I can get this done a lot quicker than it would take me to go to Upwork, find a freelancer, interview them, ask them if they're familiar with schema markup, ask them if they could provide for me other options if I have a client that is using Drupal or WordPress or whatever. So this takes all that into consideration and it distills it down, way down, so that I can get all of this done in less than 15 or 20 minutes. Now, I'm not saying do not hire a freelancer, but if you need something like this really quickly done, this is brilliant and this is the best way to do it. Now, let's get into actually creating that GPT for you. So I go to GPTs, I go create, and on the create window, you have this create, and then you have configure. So it is so simplified. It even gives you the instructions as to what I should do or how I should create something. Maybe what I want to do is create one like I did. You're going to be as descriptive and specific as you possibly can. And if you heard anybody talking about any of the AIs, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's Perplexity or Gemini or any of them, you've got to be ultra specific. And the more specific you are, the better trained it will become. And I have been very heavily using my ChatGPT account. I've got a pro account here. I do not have a paid account on Gemini or Perplexity, but I do use those others for different other things. One of the things that I might start doing too is I'm going to record on a weekly or biweekly basis all the tasks that I'm spending my time on that either I should outsource or create a GPT for. And then I'm going to look at that list after that period of time and either create the GPT or hire a freelancer. I would highly recommend you do the same thing. So I know one of the things that I do that I would really like to have help with would be to create and generate some specific YouTube video ideas for this channel. So I'm going to now create a GPT I'm going to instruct it that this is going to be specifically a topic ideation, topics that would benefit my audience on my YouTube channel. Now, after I popped in who they are and what this GPT should do, this may not even be perfect, but we're going to tweak it and get it there. So here it's going to first, it immediately wants to name it. So it says, how about Janet's channel strategist? Would you like to go with a different name? So I'm going to say, let's go with a different name. So we'll go with a different name. Now it's updating the GPT, and now it wants to create a profile picture. This all seems mundane and kind of maybe initially like choosing your own logo in a business where you kind of are thinking like, this is a waste of my time. But it helps when you're creating multiples of these things and you go to my GPTs, and if everything is called untitled with a black avatar color, you might be like, well, I'm not sure which is which. So this is the best way to really easily differentiate which they are. So if you want to kind of think of it this way, it's kind of like if you've got 20 Google documents, you've got to have a title for those documents and organize them in a way that you can easily locate what they are. And that's kind of what we need to do here and what it's asking me to do. So here's a profile picture. Would you like to make changes to it? And so I'm just going to say, no face, just the YouTube logo, and we'll see what it comes back with. Now it's using DALL-E, which is the image creator built within ChatGPT. It's not perfect. This is good enough. So I'm going to be like, yep, that's great. Now, if I was building this GPT for a client, what I could do easily is say, you know what, I want to use the client's logo. And so what I'm going to do is upload the client's logo, and you just build the sort of that profile picture for that. Now it's very step by step. So now we're going to fine tune how your strategist thinks. What should be emphasized or avoided in the video topics or advice this GPT suggests? Great question. So I'm going to think through it a minute, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to update. Okay, now what I did was I said emphasize or organize each within my brand pillars. And so my brand pillars were originally created probably a few weeks back when I was doing some research and analysis to establish some specific brand pillars for my YouTube channel. Now, the brand pillars of my YouTube channel are founder mindset, smart infrastructure, selling and monetization, and marketing foundations. So then I said each specific topic should be geared to the new founder, somebody 0 to 5 years in business, and make sure to include Brendan Lucero's 4 content types. If you don't know who Brendan Lucero is, you should absolutely search for him. He's on YouTube and he's got a podcast, but he's brilliant when it comes to messaging specifically. And so I want it to take into consideration his 4 content types. Now it's updating the GPT. Now it says you're all set. Want to try it out? You can ask for video ideas or a content strategy in the preview chat to the right. That's this preview section here. So if I want to refine it further and get it to be smarter or better or add something to it, I can do that here in the left panel. So right now I'm just going to take a minute before I go to the preview to make sure there's nothing else I forgot. Now, I did just think of something that I wanted to, again, make sure that it has as much information as possible. And so I wanted to make sure that it understood the niche or the audience type that I'm really trying to drive a focus to this channel. Solo founders, new service providers. I want to help them build their business foundation. So it's onboarding, invoicing, marketing, client management, that kind of stuff. So for the purpose of them being able to launch and scale faster without wasting years guessing what works. So now I'm going to add this in so that it understands, take this all into consideration in this GPT so that we can make sure it's fully updated. All right. So everything's aligned with your niche and structure. Would you like to generate a sample content plan or brainstorm with video topics by one of your brand pillars? This is interesting because I could easily just go over here and just test it out, but I think I'm going to take it up on just giving me a sample. This would also help me understand, did I miss something? Was there something else I needed to make sure I included? Do understand this is just like as though you're having a conversation with a human assistant. So it's the back and forth here is very much as if you had a human assistant on your team where it comes back to you and says, hey, I updated this. What do you think of this? Does this look good? Is there something else that I should add? Boom. Yes, no, perfect. Again, you don't have to worry about something getting lost in translation or trying to set up a meeting with somebody and, scheduling it many, hours or days later. This is something I can immediately do, and it's all under 15 minutes. So here's one of the ideas. Stop winging it. The 3-step onboarding system every service provider needs. Brand pillar is in my smart infrastructure. The content type with regards to Brennan Lucero is a thought reversal. The format, and it even tells me, so this is like a talking head with slides or a screen share. And it even gives me some tools that I could use. Also can be something where I say, you know what, my call to action is always going to be book a call with me. Or it could be, especially if it's my YouTube channel and it's early days, it might be, just comment below. One of my lead magnets is my Amplify 3-part free video training. And so what I might say is the call to action should be this. Now I just told it to change the call to action. So now I'm building this very specific GPT geared to exactly what I need, which is want to amplify your brand, get my 3-part video training at bartoliconsulting.com/amplify. What I'm going to do here is just now test the preview. And I could even say, because I know the pillars, I could say, give me 4 new video topic ideas. I'm just going to give it a simple command as that. Well, see, it looks like I didn't finish this whole thing. So this is, again, I'm learning in real time with you here. So basically, if I went to a human assistant and I said, give me 4 new video topic ideas it's basically saying, wait a minute, looks like something was cut off. Can you finish the request? So now I'm going to finish the request properly. And here it goes. So I got 1, founder mindset, which I typically like to use for my podcast. So stop waiting to feel ready. The truth about starting before you're confident. I like the way that it also will help too by saying, share how clarity comes from action, not thinking. And that's a very typical thing. The next one, smart infrastructure, client onboarding in 30 minutes. Great. This is a really good topic as well, because we know so many of us are wasting time manually onboarding each client, and there's no system at all. Selling and monetization, again, why you're not selling even with a great offer, which is using the thought reversal. And then the last one is 1 piece of content, 5 ways to repurpose it without burning out. Another really great topic. So you can see this is like the most seamless way to organize everything that you need to do on a weekly basis. This could be created, the content that I could create for the next 4 episodes, whether it's my podcast or any video that I decide to put into my channel. This is just one. Now, I'm all set and I say, this is awesome. I really like the way this looks. What I'm going to do is create that. I'm creating the GPT. It gives you the option to only keep it share it with me. I can share this with anyone with a link, or I can share it in the Explore GPTs store. This is wherever I want it to go. And so I think for right now, I'm going to do anyone with a link. And so what I'll even do too here is I'll drop this below in the show notes of this specific episode here so that you can grab a copy of it if you're interested in using it. I click save. It's now saving. Again, we're learning things in real time. Okay? Your GPT can't be shared publicly because it violates our usage policies, which I did not know there was such a thing. It may contain content that requires previous authorization, brand names, trademarks. It was looking at anytime I'm talking about Brendan Lucero. So, what I'm going to do is create this only for me because I don't want to violate any rights. This is something I'm just going to use internally. However, as you can see, you can easily create this GPT, the same one if you wanted to, the same one for yourself and for your company. And there it is. Now I go view GPT. And here it is. YouTube channel strategist. And if I want to see all of my GPTs, I just go my GPTs and they're listed here. So I got them all here. I can edit them where I can say like, you know what, something's not right here. I need to add something additional and improve upon it. I would expect that you would likely do it again. Just like if you had a human assistant, the human assistant within the first half an hour of them starting to work with you is not going to be perfect. So you're going to have to keep working with them and iterating over time. But over time, I can see this getting to be a pretty perfect thing for my business. I got a few takeaways that I want to make sure to share with you. Just remember, keep your GPT focused. Solve one pain point at a time. The more that you layer in and confuse it, the more difficult and challenging it's going to be. Again, if you think about a person, an entry level intern, maybe, and you just load them up with 25 ideas, they're going to be very confused. Avoid that by just creating a GPT for one specific problem that you have. The simpler the problem, the easier, and then the better you'll get at this. Okay. And also make sure, just as you saw in mine, use your own language and your own tone. Don't make it generic, because the more specific it can be to your business, the better it's going to be. And as I said, the better the input, the better the results. This is now your new assistant. It's a very smart assistant who's going to be there helping you out 24/7. No sick days, no need to take any time off. They're just there to help you grow in your business. Now, let me know, what GPT assistants are you going to be building? Drop those comments below and let me know how you're doing. Thank you so much for watching.